Okay, in this video I'm talking about hovering. Now, with GameMaker for Fake 3D, for some reason I'm not able to do the hover exactly how I did it in my previous video, because we're dealing with X, Y, and Z coordinates, and in this situation I'm only able to move it from. I can either move it side to side, the hover with the key, or move it back and forth. Because we're dealing with the X and Y coordinates, there's no Z coordinates for some reason for me to make it actually move up and down, because that's the Z. So you can see how it's moving up and down, but not from top to bottom with where the wall is at and the floor, because that's the Z axis, and I'm not sure how to get those coordinates for the Z. So we're just dealing with the X and Y coordinates. So I believe it's going using the Y coordinates. If I use the X coordinates, it's going to go through the wall. It's going to go side to side through the wall. So this is the best I can get with the hover for the key. And I'll show you how I did that. So with the key, it's just this square icon called Object Key, and it's in the main room tab. It's right there, the purple box that represents the key. So inside that sprint icon, we have in the crate, go over to the control tab, bring over a coded sheet, and it's stating that direction equals choose 180, 0. Speeds at 0.2. Now, like I said, this right here is talking about going from here. It's basically stating it's going from right to left. But when you play the game, it's actually going top to bottom, or in a way it is. But we're only dealing with the X and Y coordinates here. We're not dealing with the Z axis. I'm not sure what the Z axis numbers are for that. So if I make this 0 and 270, which in theory is up and down, it's going to go through the wall. Now you would think it go up and down, but you're only thinking two-dimensionally there, dealing with like side-scroller games. Because when I use these coordinates, in theory it should go from top to bottom, but it doesn't. It goes from side to side. See, it's going through the wall now, see? And it's just because we're dealing with more than just the X and Y coordinates. We're dealing with the Z coordinate too, because we're dealing with 3D. So I don't know what the Z coordinate is. The Z coordinate should work to make it go from top to bottom, but wasn't able to find anything on that online. If I make that 0, and then a comma for the third, I don't know, it could potentially work, but Now it just moves kind of weird looking. So, like I said, the best you could get that I know how to do this, make it at 0 and then 180. And so what's happening here is that I've got a alarm set for 5 milliseconds, and then alarm 1 kicks in and it's going to go the opposite direction, so it stays in the same position. So it pretty much goes from, uses the y coordinates going up and then going back towards you, and then up and back towards you at a speed of 2, using 5 milliseconds to jump back and forth. So $180, and then so alarm kicks in for 5 milliseconds, and then it goes the opposite direction, and the alarm kicks in and goes the opposite direction, so it keeps going back and forth, not to pretty much leave that spot. So it is gradually moving from top to bottom in like the y-axis, not the z-axis. But it kind of moves away from you. It doesn't really... It does kind of move away from you. Trying to keep it in the same spot. May need some kind of a line that's going to bump up against it as a solid object for the key to make it stay in that one location. Because it does kind of move away from that location a little bit. Dealing with 3D is totally different from dealing with 2D stuff, so you kind of had to modify the code. I didn't even use the step event because in the step event there was more code that dealt with the counter, and the counter didn't work for GameMaker 8.1. It didn't recognize the code for the counter, so I took that out for the step event. And you can see right here, this is kind of watered down too. I had the counter was in there as well, and it just didn't recognize it, so it's not needed. You probably could use this move free and add the direction and speed there and set its relative, and it would do the same thing pretty much. Alright, so that's how you kind of do a hover in GameMaker 8.1. Not exactly the same as the 2D version, but you can do something similar to that. Thanks for watching.